Hey, welcome to another video from the Outdoor Analyst. Today I've got a fun one for you. Today I have two knives that I actually enjoy and have not been disappointed in. Kind of shocking. No, I haven't been paid by Chris Reeve at all. They have no idea who I am, and that is a lovely thing. And these two are just the knives that are really expensive that have stuck in my collection. I've had some come and go. I did not like the Demco 8020 because it had some issues with cutting people, cutting me in particular. The blade is pretty easy to get to when it's in your pocket, which is pretty stupid. No one's ever talked about that. I got rid of mine before I did a video on it because negative videos aren't that fun. Actually, they're kind of fun to do, but you just get so much trash talk back from everybody that's done them. It's just kind of hilarious. So here's a positive video. Positive because I like these knives a lot. I love the Inkosi. I love the Sebenza 31. And the difference between them is mostly aesthetic. Honestly, these are so similar. You probably wouldn't be able to tell that much of a difference if someone just blindly gave them to you and said they were one or the other. You know, if you knew about the finger grooves, you'd figure out the Inkosi, but you wouldn't be able to tell much of a difference in anything else. Now, they do have some pivot differences on the Inkosi. You can actually make it how you want it. I have mine really hydraulic on the stiffer end. I kind of just love that tight feel, that tight lockup. I like doing that. I'm not the flipper sort of guy, so I really like the hydraulic feel. So this one is a little tighter. The Sebenza 31, I don't think you can really play it and change their pivot much at all. So it is what it is. It is a little looser, still very hydraulic feeling. Very smooth. Great lockup on these ceramic ball detents. They are fantastic. Now, I guess this is sort of a versus video, or would you buy one or the other? Yes, I know this is a Tanto, and that's their, drop point? Maybe they call it clip point. I don't know. I just call it drop point. The differences on those are, I wanted to try this out. I've never had Tantos, or I've only had a few. This one's really cool. I actually love this one for utility use, and I just love this as being just, heck, a regular knife, everyday carry sort of blade. And for me, that's kind of where I've made my own personal differences in how I've used them. The Inkosi, to me, is a little more hard use. Both of these are tanks. If you never picked up a Chris Reeve, these are full titanium. And if you've never done that, they're heavy. These things are beasts. These are not small knives by any means. And they're not lightweight. They are big, full-on carry knives. So when people say they're work knives, just screw that. These are tanks. Think of these as tank knives because they really are. They're heavy, they're big, they're kind of bulky, but they also are pretty awesome. And to me, the Inkosi is a little more hard use. I feel like it might actually be a little heavier, a little bit thicker in the blade stock. It is a little bit shorter blade, just by a hair, but it is a little shorter. And it has more aggressive jimping. It is maybe a little more pointy, kind of on the end. Still very well chamfered. No sharp spots anywhere really on here. Not even really on the clip. But it just feels a little more tanky. And to me, I've been working on the house a lot. This is what I've been using. Usually it's a Spyderco PM2 or a little Benchmade Griptilian. But man, I've just been going to town with this thing lately, and I have loved the Tanto. This thing is just a great utility beast. And man, I've not been disappointed in any way, shape, or form with it. It's chunky, it's tough, has not loosened at all. I've only had to strop it. Haven't any chips or rolls in the S35 VN. It's just been great. On the other hand, to me, this is more of a fancy carry. Yes, I got the inlays on it. These are very smooth. Ergonomically, it feels almost identical to the Inkosi. It's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, you don't have the finger grooves there, but the feel in your hand is almost exactly the same. I wouldn't say one's more comfortable than the other, even with the inlays. Differences are, it's a little slicker. The bead blasted titanium is a little bit rougher, even though this is smoothed out a ton since I've got it. Because it's wearing off a little bit, but it still wears really well. It gets a little slicker, but it is nothing like the inlays. So if you're getting inlays, just know it is not going to be as grippy as the regular titanium will be. Although you would think it would be, it might be a hair bit more ergonomic because it's just a little wider. But to me, these feel almost identical. So that's not something I'd worry really make much of a difference on as far as feel. Looks like a little thinner blade stock on there. It feels a little thinner, definitely more delicate of a tip. That's just tanto versus drop point or clip point, whatever they call this thing. I forget what they put in their book. Either way, you got a decent amount of belly on there, but it is a little bit of a delicate tip. Great slicer, great awesome hollow grinds on there. I am a fan, and I still just strop. I just kind of keep that convex sort of edge on the end. And man, I'm just a fan of these. I don't have much to say besides if you wanted to be a little more fancy, get this one. This feels a little lighter in the hand. Doesn't feel as chunky as the Inkosi does, but still a hard use tank. Inkosi, could just be that I've used this for more hard use things. I feel like it is a little more just tanky all around. Cool hollow grind tanto, and man, this little spot right here is just so good for getting boxes, not going too deep into things. Just been so nice. Really enjoyed this thing. Yet again, massively ergonomic. I've had the Umnumzan. The Umnumzan was not ergonomic. It was good like this. Atrocious in a hammer grip. It was really, really bad. I loved the blade. I just couldn't keep it around for comfort. I always was finding myself with the Inkosi, and then came the 31, and now these are 50-50 split depending on what I'm doing. Going to work, more likely just going to carry this. Going to actually do work, more likely going to carry this. So hopefully that made sense. So yeah, that's kind of just how I feel and how I use them in my day-to-day basis. If you're going to buy only one, kind of maybe take that into account. This is maybe a little less hard use. This is a little more intended for it. You have a little more control over the pivot with this one versus this. You have bigger washers on the Inkosi. Does that really make it smoother? I don't know. Not really. But I like them though. It just feels heavier than this knife does. Could just because they hollowed it out and wood is less than titanium. That's probably what it is. But man, love them both. A little less aggressive. I do love the double thumb stud on the Inkosi. I might actually get a different thumb stud if I can for that, just to have that double because I love going lefty with these things. But yeah, either way, these are awesome knives. I've not been disappointed with them. Chris Reeves, so far their quality control has been great for me, whereas a lot of other American makers has not been so far. So yeah, positive on them. I'm pumped. I would highly suggest them. Since S45 VNs hold up just as similar as S35 has. If you want me to be honest with you, I can't tell a difference. Sharpening, they seem to be the same on a strap. Doesn't really take more than a few swipes. They're back to insanely hair shaven sharp. As far as corrosion resistance, I can't tell a difference. They seem to be almost identical. I'm sure this is just a slight bit better, but in actual use, yeah, can't tell a difference. So that's cool. I'm happy to have one of the S45 VNs just to say, hey, I've got one of the first runs they ever did. Very, very cool. Love the S35 VN at all completely. I would not feel, honestly, any downgrade in between it. And in reality, they're just so darn similar. From everything I've read, it's actually easier for them to actually manufacture S45 VN for them to grind it out, water jet them or whatever, and actually get the edge on them. So it's probably cheaper for them to use this than it is S35 in the long run. But yeah, anyway, that's my take on it. And honestly, get either one. If you like either one, that's great. Get them both. They're amazing. These are my favorites from the Chris Reeve lineup. I think I like the looks of the Umnumzan better than both of these, if I'll be completely honest with you, but ergonomically, these crush it. These absolutely crush it, and then in the action, it absolutely crushes the Umnumzan. It's just that much better. I highly suggest them. Hard use, a little more fancy, a little more just EDC versus I'm going to be working on stuff. Take your pick. go for it. Either blade shape is pretty awesome. You know, obviously this is kind of just a basic hollow grind. Tanto is definitely something I'm a fan of now. Like their version of it is just this like chisel grind up here. It's not chiseled, but it kind of looks like one, and it's just super, super nice. I never thought I'd like it as much as I did. I don't think I'm planning on getting rid of them. So there we go. Versus, not so much. They're just kind of a different flavor of the same awesomeness that is Chris Reeve. And are these really worth the money? I don't know. I think they are. I'm sure someone else can do these for less and probably have the same quality control in a different country. But as far as the look, the feel, the quality control, at least you know what you're getting for the money that you're putting into them. And for that, I respect and I am a fan of. So yeah, if you want to get one, pick them up. I think they're cool. That's all I got for my Versus video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.